In a locked immigration office, Emmanuel is having an anxious wait.
I've been in the plane for the past 2 days. I'm tired. Now I have to wait here in the chair.
This gentleman has arrived on an Italian passport. Speaking to him, our officer realised that he's not a native Italian speaker. The question is now, what is his nationality?
I can't chill out until they tell me whatever is going to happen.
I have a number of concerns about this passport. The first one is we have some stamps in his passport that indicate he entered and left Melbourne Airport in 1999. We have no record of that on our systems, which sets alarm bells ringing. And looking at these stamps, I'm not satisfied that they're genuine. I'm going to have to get an expert to have a look at this a little later to confirm my opinion. We've got some issues with this chap.
If this passport isn't his, then the question is, who is he? Is he a security threat? Is he coming to work illegally? Or is he what we call a fugitive from justice? Has he committed a crime in another country?
Notice his ID code. Issued in 2 different years and it's the same photograph.
Yeah.
So this one was supposed to be issued in 2000 and this one was issued a year before in 99. Why would you still have the same passport photograph?
Yeah.
There. Is his contact book. Very few of the names appear to be Italian. Hello, my name's Peter Davis. You're Emmanuel? Nice to meet you, huh? This officer, his name is Deepak. He's a trainee down here at the airport. The first thing that we wanted to ask you about is you don't actually have a visa to Australia. Can you explain why you don't have a visa?
Because you don't usually get a visa.
Everybody needs a visa to come to Australia.
I was here once before as well. I didn't need a visa.
Well, that's something I wanted to talk to you about as well. So, Mr. Quaddy, you just got on an aircraft without getting a visa for Australia. Is that right? Yeah. And where did you board the aircraft?
Aircraft
Yeah.
from Denmark.
How long were you in Denmark for?
2 days.
Why?
Just to look around.
You said that you've been to Australia before. When did you come to Australia before?
I was in 99.
Why?
To see the country.
And how long were you here for?
20 days.
20 days. And what airport did you come in?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. And where did you go out?
Where?
Where?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Well, the thing is, Mr. Quatty, we don't have any record of you arriving or departing on this passport. Nobody's ever used this passport to come to Australia before, and those stamps are fake.
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 Can't be fake.
They're the wrong shape for a start.
It's not a forge.
I think it is.
I think not.
At the baggage claim, Customs have put a man under surveillance.
When he was at the queue, he was jumping the queues as well at immigration to try and get through as quick as he could. To me, he looks nervous.
Ladies and gentlemen, for security reasons...
Okay, Nelson, why did you change your flight?
I got sick.
Are you better now? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
So you got to Johannesburg and then you booked a ticket to Australia. So originally you were just
So I came from London
to Johannesburg.
to Johannesburg.
But today you're supposed to be back in London rather than being in Sydney.
Right.
If you suddenly want to come to Australia, there must be something you want to look at.
The kangaroos, watched that show, Steve, and seen a lot of... Basically,
The show, the Steve, the crocodile guy.
the crocodile guy. So I know quite a bit about Australia.
You don't know many of the sites though. Can you tell me anything about Sydney that you know?
About Sydney, they have the opera house.
Opera House, yep. You said you're here for 2 weeks. But you booked to go out in, what, 2 days' time?
Because that doesn't make sense. I'm not staying
No,
there.
it doesn't. Just staying here for 2 days doesn't make sense at all. Is this your wallet?
Yeah.
Just going to run a little swab over it. This is to test to see whether you've been in contact with any narcotics.
Okay.
Have you been in contact with any narcotics?
I don't know.
Well, you either know or you
Just
don't.
in case somebody was beside... No.
No, I asked whether you had used it, not anyone else.
Oh, no,
like
if
here
I...
in
No,
Melbourne.
I've never, I don't use this.
Okay. The reason I'm asking you is just to simply find out whether you have, so if I do this iron scan, it does come up with marijuana or cocaine or heroin or ecstasy or whatever,
Right.
I know whether you've lied to me or not. He doesn't have a clue about Sydney. He doesn't have a clue.
Well, then we got something, so...
Check that out, mate. Thank you.
These are called iron scan wands. They detect the presence of particles of narcotics or explosive devices. And they run through a little chamber here and they react according to the speed which they go through.
How far is Asheville anyways? I don't know why they'll give me that number.
Well, it's not really near the city. It's not really near the beaches. It's not.
It's not.
Okay, that's just a positive for cocaine. That's off the gentleman's credit cards. This swab is from his luggage. It's been in contact with something.
Melbourne Airport,
Very terrible.
the quarantine hall,
Fascist. Fascist. This too fascist. Fascist.
the unhappy travellers have flown in from New York.
Australia, very good people.
Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying,
I ate in
ma'am.
the
No,
plane.
stop talking and listen to what I'm saying. We asked you if you had food. You said no. When we found the food, you told us that you had food. I asked if you had any other food. You said you had carrots.
No, if you
no,
think-
no. Listen to what I'm saying, ma'am. You told me you had the carrots. I asked you to find them, and as soon as you started looking for them, listen to what I'm saying, ma'am.
Food from overseas carries with it the threat of pests and disease.
When you went to find the carrots, I searched another bag. I found apples, and I had asked you, did you have any other food other than the carrots? And you told me no.
I'm telling you again.
No, listen to listen to me.
At immigration in Sydney Airport, Emmanuel's passport says Italian, but is the document genuine?
The bottom line is, if this passport is a forgery, and I think it is, okay, then I don't know who you are, and I don't know what nationality you are, but I believe my officer when he tells me that you can't speak Italian properly.
I do speak Italian. I told him, but I prefer to talk in English.
Yes, but he said you speak Italian like a person who has learnt the language.
No,
No? Okay. Where were you born?
Rome.
In
He's
Rome.
got some English,
And what are your parents?
smattering or more of Italian. We think he could be Albanian.
Who were you going to see here?
Nobody.
Nobody. What were you going to do here?
Just look around.
How long for?
Not a month, because at the 4th I start work again.
In Albania, the TV does not have subtitles, and major programs, or most of the programs, are in English and Italian. So even people with little education have those languages. He really fits the profile for us, but we'll see what else he will tell us.
Have you booked any tours? Do you know what you're going to see? Do you know what you're going to do here?
Well, in a month time, obviously I got time enough to look around.
Yeah, but you've got no plans. People don't generally get on a plane and come to another country for a holiday without any idea of what they're going to do.
When you told me food, I thought what food which I ate in the plane. I didn't know
Well, clearly,
seeds or prunes or apricots, which is need my husband for constipation.
Clearly, food that you've eaten on the plane is not of concern to us. Food that you bring into the country is of concern to us.
So
And-
now I know.
and-
Now I know. Now I know.
I asked you if you had food in your other big bags, and you told me you had clothes in them. We ran those bags through the X-ray, and we found more items that are prohibited under the Australian Quarantine Act. You are going to be issued with a $220 fine.
Why I must pay money? Why?
How much money did you bring with you?
I go 700 quid.
700?
Euros.
700 euros won't get you very far.
Of course not.
No. Did you bring traveller's checks or anything like that?
I left in a hurry, so I forgot everything back.
Why did you leave in such a hurry? It's just a holiday.
I know it's holiday.
So why did you leave in such a hurry?
Just left.
I'm going to get an expert to have a look at this passport, but there's some serious problems with it, and until those problems are resolved, you might find yourself in a situation where you won't be granted entry to Australia today.
I won't.
No.
What about all the money which I spend on?
At the customs barrier, Nelson's claim that he's drug-free is looking shaky.
Gentleman's got readings for cocaine on both. 158, 19, 8 segments, 65, 17 and 3 segments.
Okay. I might just get you to quickly x-ray this.
The readings came from his wallet and luggage.
Some people conceal narcotics inside the lining or inside the structure of bags. In this case, we're looking for cocaine. It'd show up as an organic substance on here. There's a pen, a few other items, glasses, case, whatnot. But apart from that, it appears to be clear.
No coke in the bags, but his story just doesn't add up.
Travel itinerary for William Kelly. Do you know him?
No, I'm just wondering why that's my signature.
Well, I'm wondering why it's your
Because
signature as
they
well.
she may have made a mistake.
In his documents, with his signature there, travel itinerary for William Kelly. It's for him to depart Joburg to go to Cape Town in a couple of days' time. Bring up intel and see if there's anything sort of on that name or whether he's travelled here before. You don't know that person?
No. Travel itinerary for Mr. William Kelly.
Nelson's second bag is about to be x-rayed.
That clarifies the image a bit more. Particularly the handles are a good place to conceal.
Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
So far,
It's fine, the handles are fine.
nothing.
There you go, buddy.
Is it almost done?
What's that? Not yet. You'll be the first to know when it is. He's had enough.
He's not looking well.
No, and I don't think the sitting down's got anything to do with the fact he's tired. Are you all right? Are you feeling ill at all?
No, I'm fine.
Just tired?
Pardon me?
Just tired.
I'm fine. I'm just tired because it's been a long flight, that's all.
We took an iron scan before of your goods.
Yeah.
You saw me do that?
Right.
I came up for a reading of cocaine.
Okay.
All right, so I'm only going to ask you once only. When's the last time you used cocaine? I'm not asking if, I'm asking when.
I don't use cocaine.
You've never used cocaine?
No. I don't even smoke. I don't drink.
You've never touched cocaine, wouldn't know what it looks like?
No.
In Melbourne, the tourists from New York can't understand why they've been fined $220.
Why I must pay money? Why? From the other.
The fine is because of a false declaration on your passenger card. You've ticked no to having food. It says food of any type, and you've ticked no to having that when blatantly you've got, 3 kilos of fresh foods right here in your cabin luggage.
Tell me how is money here?
The fine today?
I mean American dollars.
American dollars, about half, but we'll have to exchange it.
You take our money. We must eat. We must see.
The lady has been issued with a $220 fine. She's required to pay that before she leaves the airport today.
They took all my money.
This $5. $5.
I know.
Are you take $200?
You don't understand.
First, she claimed that she could not read English, and when we questioned her further, she had filled the cards in, so she clearly understood English. She speaks very good English, so yes, she understands what's going on.
I say frost that. Take medicine for me. You understand?
Clearly, the passengers aren't happy about what's going on.
Back in Sydney, Emmanuel's dodgy passport has landed him in trouble.
Okay, how did you get that? How did you get it?
Passport.
Tell me how you got it. With the passport?
Yeah.
At the same time?
Yeah, the same time.
Right, they were issued in 2 different years. This passport photograph is the same as the one in there. Yeah, I know you got them at the same time because you paid for them. You didn't get them from the Italian authorities. I don't think you are Emmanuel Quatti. I think you are somebody else.
Nope.
I think you are not an Italian citizen. I think you're something else. Interview suspended at 7:05. I feel like he's lying to me. I don't know his motives, I don't know his reason, but I don't think he's telling me the truth.
Passport is real. Because if it's false one, I wouldn't be here.
He's still saying it's real, and he's saying you can believe what you
He
want.
has to, because I'm sure he's invested a lot of time and effort.
It cost him money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It would have cost him heaps.
Yeah, I asked him how much it cost, and he said he just got it through the normal processes. Yeah, the normal people smuggling processes.
Yeah.
The money that you've exchanged, you need to pay this lady.
For me, medicine.
Vegetables and fruit, yes.
Prunes and the apricot from constipations. My husband has a constipation. Pumpkin seeds from prostate.
She still believes that she has done nothing wrong by bringing the items into Australia, despite the fact that she's failed to declare and has admitted that she was aware of the contents of her bags.
These people do very terrible, very no good.
While the protest continues,
For me, no good.
Linda's worst fear is realised.
Fruit fly. There you go, fruit fly. We have a disease a pest on the actual fruit that's come in. So again, that's an incredibly serious matter.
I do donation because Australia people very cheap.
The most dangerous thing that this fly could do would be to get out into the Australian fruit growing region and actually lay some kind of larvae. Potentially the cost is millions and millions of dollars.
Dave, we got a passenger downstairs. I'd like you to look at his passport if you don't mind. The guy is not being particularly cooperative, and I don't think I'm going to get any information out of him, so I'm relying on the document.
Yeah, no problems. Just leave with us and I'll give you a call.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
I got the plane from Denmark to here. Nobody told me anything. So when I get here, they say it's false.
It's looking quite good, actually. I can't see any damage there at all. No evidence there's been substituted or used for the second time.
If I get told by an expert document examiner that his document is genuine, then I'll go in there with an open mind. I think if he was a genuine visitor and I'd just had that conversation with him that I'd had, he'd be a little bit more outraged and a little bit more nervous than he is at the moment.
I feel miserable. Treated like not human.
In customs, Michael is still trying to figure out if Nelson's a drug courier or just a hapless traveller.
The only one thing I don't understand is you said you've always wanted to come to Australia. The only thing you can mention to me is one spot.
No, I mean,
I just find that unusual. I find that very unusual. I've worked here for 9 years and I find that unusual. I find your travel movements unusual.
Right.
I find the fact that you actually bought a ticket to go back to London today. You changed your ticket because you were sick. You're only going to spend 4 days in South Africa rather than 9 days.
Tickets are usually cheaper when you buy them that way.
You say you're here for 2 weeks. You've got a ticket to leave Australia in 2 days.
That's why.
This is what I don't understand. And this is what I'm going to get you to tell me in the next couple of minutes, all right?
Nelson keeps saying he doesn't do drugs.
How old's your toothbrush?
Pardon me?
Your toothbrush. How old's your toothbrush?
It's quite old, like 3 months.
3 months? Are you the only person who uses your toothbrush?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to do a little swab on that. Just on that. I'm going to run the dog over him first.
At immigration, the moment of truth has arrived for Peter and Emmanuel.
Did they find anything out?
2 Aussie stamps, the Melbourne ones. Yeah, they're both counterfeit. The pages are all counterfeit. The watermark's counterfeit. I've also checked around the photograph as well. There's no evidence there's been substituted or used for the second time.
Okay. Yeah.
The actual page and the whole passport is counterfeit, from cover right through to the back cover.
Okay, interview resumed at 8:25. Okay, Emmanuel, I'll call you that for the sake of convenience, but we've just had an expert in document examination look at your passport, and they have confirmed what I believed, and that is that your passport is a forgery. A forgery, okay? What do you have to say about that?
You sure it's a forgery?
Yes. I wouldn't tell you it was if it wasn't.
Maybe.
So many people who come to Australia with dodgy documents have basically purchased them, organised them or been given them for work purposes.
The Italian passport we are seizing because it is forged, and will not be seizing it, and it will not be returned to you.
We think he's Albanian. He won't be prosecuted, and he won't be prosecuted because there really is no point to it. What we're after is a quick turnaround. This sends a really strong message to people traffickers, people who organise these sorts of documents. You can't even get past the border.
No charges, but the man will be sent back to Europe.
Just spoke to Singapore Airlines. They can get him out on the 1 o'clock flight. Could go all the way through to Copenhagen, but certainly Singapore at this stage.
Fantastic.
I don't think that I'll be coming here again. For sure not.
Singapore Airlines was fined $5,000 for flying the passenger to Australia without a visa.
If he hasn't got anything strapped around that groin of his, I reckon it could be in him.
Grace the Labrador is a customs officer, trained to sit when she detects drugs.
Nelson, that dog showed a positive reaction to you, sat down right next to you. Just going to ask you, are you carrying anything around your groin? Are you carrying anything on your body?
Am I carrying? No.
No? Not carrying anything illegal around your body at all?
No.
Have you swallowed any drugs?
No.
Have you stuffed any drugs inside you?
No.
So 2 Japanese tourists coming in from Lord Howe Island tonight. On their way out to Japan, we've got information that they're smuggling out protected wildlife from Lord Howe Island, which can include fauna of any kind, snakes, birds, lizards, insects.
The tip-off came from police stationed on the island.
Oscar 1, Oscar 1.
We've got them under surveillance. We know where they are.
Satoru, that's him dashing to the toilet, and Haidishi spent 5 nights on Lord Howe. They had no credit cards and no local currency.
Now, the intention is to covertly examine the baggage down here
No.
in the baggage handling area so that we can examine the baggage without them knowing it.
We believe they're up checking in. We don't believe the bags have actually come down yet, so we're just hoping to catch them as they slide down the chute. Waiting.
If these guys have got wildlife, either they're collectors or it's for commercial purposes. If it's for commercial reasons, these things go for big money, $10,000, $100,000 even. Now, it's a criminal offence, so we take it very seriously and it can carry jail time.
You've seen the way the dog's reacted to you,
Right.
which may indicate you have narcotics concealed on your body.
Well, the dog may have responded to leakage, which as he's inserted it, they have to clench to keep it concealed inside their bodies.
We just want to give you a pat down, just a frisk.
The other thing is if he's a user and he's been sweating, it's going to come out through the crotch, primarily where the pores are the most, so the sweat.
He said he hasn't been near any narcotics, so I've decided to test something that only he's touched, which is his toothbrush. He says no one else has been near his toothbrush, so I reckon hopefully we might get some sort of a positive reaction to cocaine here.
At immigration, Deborah has triggered an alert on her way in from New Zealand.
She's coming back to Australia on a tourist visa, but she's overstayed previously.
You just take a seat over there, thanks.
So she may not be entitled to have that visa.
Deborah is a UK citizen.
Okay, what's the purpose of this trip into Australia?
What's the purpose of this trip?
Yeah.
My life is here. I have a boyfriend here. I want to sort out my sponsorship with the company that I was originally going to be sponsored by.
Now, you were granted an electronic tourist visa.
Yeah.
Where were you when that electronic visa was granted to you?
I was here in Australia.
Okay. How did you apply for that?
I went to see a lawyer.
Is he a migration agent?
Yeah.
Did he explain to you that to apply for an electronic tourist visa, you must be outside of Australia?
How he done it, I don't know. I was just happy it was getting done. Can I just ask what's actually going to happen now?
Well, a decision will be made as to whether this visa, this electronic visa you have, is cancelled. If a decision is made to cancel the visa, then yes, you will be put on the first available flight back to the UK.
Can I have a cigarette?
No, I'm afraid not. There's no smoking anywhere inside the building. She has an Australian citizen boyfriend who we will attempt to contact. The visa that she has was obtained incorrectly while she was in the country, which she should not have been. At this stage, it could go either way.
That'll be it.
Satoru's bag has arrived, but Haidishi's still checking in.
8:45, flight leaves at 9:30. We'd like to covertly examine the baggage, but we're backed up against when the flight has to leave and holding up the flight.
I spoke to him, he said about 9:10 is the latest you can need the bags, so if there's nothing in there, we will have them back down to you by then.
So that bag need to be offloaded?
We don't know yet. We can't open it at the moment to examine it.
Yeah, our departure time is 9:30.
The last guy's checked in on his bag, should be coming down now. Apparently he's the last guy on the flight. And we've run out of time to do a covert examination, so what we might do is, rather than physically examine him, we'll take it up and put him through the X-ray.
They let the first passenger go through, up to the plane, ready to depart. The second guy we're going to catch as he comes through and then go collect the first guy if we have time, just in case the first guy is trying to test the waters to see if we're actually watching and see if they're going to get searched.
Just looking for the geckos, lizards, any wildlife material network.
Do you have a telephone number for your boyfriend? Does he have a mobile?
I'll give you his work number.
Just got the contact details for the boyfriend, who I'll ring and just have a chat with him and just confirm the relationship. Good afternoon, Matthew here. Hello, you there? My name's Alan, I'm an immigration officer at Sydney Airport. I'm having a chat with a lady, yes, with Deborah. She's your partner, okay. And how long have you known her?
Five full months we were together. We were talking about babies, you know, money, houses, where we'd like to get married.
She's just travelled a short trip to New Zealand and returned. Do you know what the purpose of her return to Australia is?
She was coming back here to travel, but also to be legal in order to submit a further application for sponsorship into Australia.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. The relationship appears genuine. It's just a matter now of whether she is abusing the visa system or not. I think she's been a bit naive. Justin, Alan.
Her visa was issued illegally.
The situation is she has an Australian citizen boyfriend who I've just rung up. She's been living with him since last year. The ETA that she applied for on shore was done through a migration agent.
This immigration agent told me, and I asked him specifically the question, you know, are you 100% certain she'll be, you know, able to get back into Australia? And he says to me, I am 100% certain if she isn't, she'll be the first person ever not to be allowed in.
She knows it was granted while she was on shore.
She claims that she's unsure of the exact procedure, but I've tried to pin her down as to whether he knew she was going to remain in Australia.
But the only reason she's gone to New Zealand is to get another visa and continue what she's doing.
The trip to New Zealand was purely to reactivate the electronic visa.
But you knew she overstayed?
Yes.
I could have taken my clothes off. I would have used it.
With Nelson maintaining his innocence, the toothbrush test comes in.
Got a nice high rating for cocaine again. So he's the only person that's near his toothbrush. He's the only person that's touched it.
He's not wearing underwear. He's not
wearing underwear.
No, there's nothing.
Not only has he been near cocaine, but he's been near it quite recently.
But they still don't know if he is simply a drug user or a smuggler.
Hang on. Get the sole out. Just pull that out.
For Deborah, more shocking news. This time about her old visa, the one she overstayed by 4 months.
This migration agent, he should have explained it to you that there was a 3-year automatic exclusion period, okay?
No one has told me this. I wouldn't be happy. I don't want to go for this. I find it really upsetting.
The letter that Deborah had received from immigration did state that she was subject to a 3-year exclusion period. The immigration agent was quite clear it wouldn't apply to a British subject.
I'm not enjoying this. Since September, my life has been up and down like that. I have a relationship here. I don't even know whether to continue or to finish. It's just everything is up in the air and I just want to get it sorted out once and for all. I would like to stay here.
We have my left shoulder and behind the big family at 56.
In departures, Haidishi is still under surveillance.
Just saying about here, his mate's in the queue, so... Okay.
Customs suspect our Japanese travellers are trying to smuggle out wildlife. The X-rays are inconclusive.
Go now.
One team in there, one team in there. Get it done quickly as we can, and then we'll reassess after that.
This one yours? This bag? Yes. Yes? I'm going to have a look inside the bag.
Satoru and Haidishi have missed their flight.
Cow.
Customs officers are searching their bags for native wildlife.
There's nothing there.
But what's Satoru got?
These things are huge and very alive.
We've got quarantine coming up to make an appraisal to help us assist what they might be.
This one, one, 2, 3.
No.
No more? No. Just one?
What we've got is a couple of Japanese guys went over to Lord Howe Island. They've acted in a way that in previous situations people have brought back CITES beetles and things in attempting to export them. I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to identify them, but just maybe appraise what they could be.
Just in larva form, it's pretty hard to tell what they are until they, until they pupate into the adult form. I can't tell exactly what they are just from that.
Are there any pictures in there? Lord Howe Island pictures?
Is the answer hidden in Satoru's camera? With no drugs in Nelson's bags or clothes, there's just one more place to search.
I'm basically concerned he's either swallowed some coke or he stuffed it up his arse, basically. So
I had a good feel around. He's not wearing undies or nothing else.
is he flexing at all with him?
His arse, yeah.
Yeah, well,
I couldn't go up that
take
far.
him into the room, mate. We'll pack him up.
I just spoke to my supervisor. What we're going to do is we're just going to take you to an interview room. There's a few more questions, obviously, I'd like to ask you, as I said to you before, and we'll go from there, all right?
Just as well. At present, we're assessing a gentleman for an internal examination, which is ultrasound at a hospital.
Behind closed doors, Nelson has suddenly become a lot less cooperative.
You don't seem like a bad guy. You've done everything I've asked you, and I've responded well back to you.
Right, I do respect that.
Right? But suddenly, when it comes to the end, you don't want to finish it. I think it's frustrating when the person keeps denying that he's got something. You really do basically get the shits with it, I suppose, because you think he's telling me a lie, and he just keeps sticking with it. You think something different, and in this case we do. We think he's loaded. We think he's got something inside him, but yet he's still saying no, I don't.
As he was trying to work it, I've actually missed it, and he was deleting a picture of some kind of bug or animal on the screen. There's actually birds, insects. Some of them actually look like they're live. Some look like pictures from museums.
Turn around.
He keeps saying to me, this one, this, which to my understanding means bad. Like he's done something bad, but he doesn't understand much beyond that. We're kind of just holding tight now until we can get an interpreter in.
Basically, right now, as the person's refused consent for an internal search.
He's trying to play the system, thinking that we'll just go give up. Doesn't happen that way.
I think right now he's looking for an out clause that he can get away with. There's not, and there won't be. The federal police are in there now, but he's just making it worse for himself the longer he goes on. I've never had a person refuse to sign and not have anything. It doesn't rub right. I think he's carrying something. I've got no doubt he's carrying something.
Nelson consented to an internal search 8 hours later. Medical staff scanned his abdomen. Over the next 9 hours, Nelson passed 76 pellets wrapped in tape. The pellets contained high-grade cocaine worth $629,000. Nelson said a man offered him $4,000 US to bring the cocaine into Australia.
Deborah, what I have here in front of me is called a notice of intention to consider cancelling. Now that's not a notice that we're going to cancel your visa. It's simply a notice that we intend to consider cancelling.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to have a break?
No.
Want some water?
No, I'm fine.
She was incredibly disappointed. She felt that the whole world was more or less against her.
This is a legal procedure that I have to go through, okay? I will give you 10 minutes or more to consider a response to this notice, and then a decision will be made as to whether we cancel your visa.
Cancellation means a 3-year ban from Australia and goodbye to Matthew.
If the decision is made to cancel your visa, then you will be put on the first plane back to the UK.
This is ridiculous.
I asked whether I could go out there and see her, and the answer is quite simply no, because it's behind the line, which was really tough, which was really hard.
The situation is that she's breached the Migration Act, basically. And so we'll make a decision now as to sort of how far we go with it.
What are your views on this one?
The ETA has been granted unlawfully. She was onshore at the time of application, so that's an invalid grant.
And
she wouldn't have got the electronic visa if she'd have applied offshore, done the right thing.
And she also, is subject to a 3-year exclusion period.
That's right, she has to seek waiver and she has to have compelling, compassionate circumstances. Yeah.
She has a migration agent. She said he was involved in getting that visa. And then a few days after the visa was granted, she went to New Zealand.
Who issued it?
It says it was issued by this travel agency in New Zealand.
2 days ago. Okay. Can she explain that?
All she knows is that she went to a migration agent and he made all the arrangements.
Can you ask him where he got that from?
Lord Howe Island.
On Lord Howe Island.
In Departures, Satoru is trying to explain why he had larvae hidden in his tackle box.
What is his interest in these?
My interest was taking a picture of the native creatures.
Basically what Malcolm's trying to establish is, are these items protected, and if so, what would be the impact of having them removed so that we can ascertain whether we're going to arrest and charge him or just seize the goods.
So unless you can identify what part of the island it comes from, you can't say that. Yeah.
If it's serious enough impact, the penalties can be anywhere up to 10 years in jail and $110,000.
Right. Could you ask him what he does in Japan for work?
I'm a builder.
A builder?
Yep.
And could you ask Mr. Fujimoto what he does?
Used car salesman.
Used car salesman, okay.
Best case scenario at the moment, he's going to spend an extra night in Sydney and fly out tomorrow.
Satoru and Hideshi were charged with attempting to export a regulated native specimen. The tackle box contained 21 staghorn larvae and 27 eggs, with a potential value of $48,000 to Japanese collectors. At trial, it was found that Satoru and Hideshi had used the larvae for fishing.
She needs to get really angry with this migration agent. And I want you to get the official complaint form so she can log a complaint. And if she needs to ring her boyfriend, I guess she can ring him too. There's always room for waiver because the jams people get themselves into, it's just amazing. You just can't believe how complicated people's lives become.
I'll come back in, I'll give you a few moments to compose yourself and think about what you want to say.
Deborah has one chance only of getting back into Australia.
If she comes up with something new, different, a good reason, the cancellation may not actually go through.
Well, she's quite obviously very upset. Most of her belongings, personal belongings, are at her address in Sydney where she's been living. She's facing the prospect of being removed back to the UK, facing the prospect of a split in the relationship which she has with an Australian citizen.